survivors, I'm with you now. All right. Okay, everybody. So let's just start in a comfortable seat and take a moment to settle in. So might feel really good just to kind of move around, stretch a little bit. Reach your arms up, stretch from side to side. So any wiggles you want to get out, take a moment to do so. And then eventually find stillness. So sitting up nice and tall with length in your spine, length in the back of your neck. Soften through your face, soften through your shoulders. And let's just drop into our practice with 3 great, big, huge, deep breaths. So next time you inhale, fill up as big as you can. And as you breathe in, see if you can sit up even taller and just take up more space, not just physically, but energetically. Hold in fullness. And then exhale, big open mouth sigh, let it go. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, fill up. Biggest inhale you've taken all day long. Hold. See if you can even sip in just that little bit more. Hold. Exhale, sigh it out. And then one last time. Fill up. Take a moment to pause at the top and just feel this breath, this prana, this life force energy inside of your body. And when you're ready, big open mouth sigh, let it go. Seal your lips gently now and start to bring in Ujjayi Breath. So in and out through your nose, gentle constriction in the back of your throat. See if you can begin to not only feel your breath, but also hear your breath as it moves through you. So take as much time sitting, breathing, observing your breath, connecting to your breath. When you feel ready to add some movement, we'll take our breath with us and come forward to our hands and our knees. So you don't have to go there right away, but eventually tabletop position, hands and knees, and just start to intuitively move in your own way. So there is absolutely no right or wrong as you begin this movement. This is just a time to use to get better acquainted with your body and what's going on inside tonight in this moment. So maybe your hips feel tight, maybe your spine feels really stiff, maybe your shoulders feel a little tight. So just noticing what's there. Maybe everything feels really good and really open. So no right or wrong and no judgment, just simply observing. I love to close my eyes for this first part, so it just kind of allows me to get out of my mind, stop judging how I look, and focus more on how I feel and what I feel. So we call the thinking, talking mind, we call it the ego. So what we want to do is let go of our ego and just allow ourselves to feel and be present with what we feel. So by getting out of our minds, we become more present. We start to be in this moment, just noticing sensation, noticing our breath. And then eventually we will meet back in down dog. So when you're done exploring your unstructured, just creative movement, downward facing dog is your eventual destination. So you can get there whenever you're ready, and you can get there however you would like, transition however you'd like, just do it with awareness. And then once you are back in your down dog, take some deep breaths there. Pedal out your heels, shift your weight around, maybe shake your head yes or no. So don't worry in down dog, especially this first one. Don't worry so much about getting your legs completely straight or your heels flat on the ground. Focus more on lengthening from your fingertips all the way up to your sit bones. So really spread your fingers nice and wide. press down through your hands, and even think of pressing forward. Hopefully you don't have a slippery mat. That will make it a little more difficult. But if you can, press your hands forward and down, lift your hips back and up. See if you can lengthen the space underneath your armpits. See if you can lengthen through your side bodies. Maybe find a little more space in between your shoulders. So think of rolling your shoulders out away from your ears. And then can you feel your big, huge, expansive inhalations moving into all the little spaces inside of you? Can you take your exhalations all the way to emptiness? So at the end of each exhale, feel your belly button draw in and up towards your spine and find a connection to center, your intrinsic strength. Let's take just one more inhale in our down dog. And then exhale, slowly crawl your hands to the back of your yoga mat until you find yourself in a forward fold. So eventually all the weight comes into your feet. You can have a little or a big bend in your knees. Bring your feet about hips width distance apart, all 10 toes face forward, and either take a ragdoll pose, grab opposite elbows, or hands behind your head, interlace your fingers at the base of your skull, give the back of your neck some traction. So take a moment to just hang out here. Maybe sway your upper body from side to side, perhaps bob a little bit up and down. Try to keep your weight ever so slightly forward, more in your toes and the balls of your feet. And then even if you have a great big bend in your knees, that's fine. But imagine you're trying to lift your butt up towards the sky by engaging through your core. So draw your belly button in and up. Crown of your head towards the ground. Let your neck relax. Let your face be soft. Take one more round. End of your exhale, release your elbows, and as slow as you can possibly go, roll up to stand. So let your arms and your head hang heavy the entire way up. Once you are at the top, your head stacks, your shoulders roll back and down, your palms face forward. So your palms are open and receptive. If you would like, you can bring your feet in a little bit closer. So big toes touch, little gap in between your heels is traditional. I usually like my feet about hips width distance apart. So just feel into it. What feels most integrated, most in alignment for you. Close your eyes here. Just standing with awareness in our mountain pose. If there is an intention that you would like to set for your practice tonight, take just a moment to focus in on that. You can complete your thoughts about it. Maybe there's something you want to visualize. Maybe it's a word, a person, an idea, a mantra. So it doesn't have to make sense to anybody but you. And next time you inhale, fill up as big as you can and think of breathing your intention into all the little spaces inside of your body. Hold, seal it in. And then exhale, big open mouth sigh, send it out into the universe. Ujjayi breath, inhale, arms to the sky, big stretch. Exhale, lead with your heart, dive down slowly, forward fold. With your inhale, halfway lift, nice and long through your spine and the back of your neck. Exhale, fold. Now press into your feet, come through a halfway lift, continue to rise. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Good. Inhale, high mountain. Again, stretch tall, maybe gaze up. Exhale, take it all the way down. Nice and easy. Traction out your spine. With your inhale, lift halfway. So how much length can you create from the top of your head back to your hips? Exhale, fold. Press into your feet, reverse swan dive. So again, you're coming through your halfway lift. Keep rising. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, Anjali Mudra, hands to your heart center. All right, inhale, take your arms to the sky. And as you exhale, sit back into a chair pose. So weight is in your heels. You should be able to pick up your toes, spread them apart, wiggle them around. See if you can sit a little bit lower, but lift your chest a little higher. So keep drawing your belly button in and up so your core stays engaged, your low abdominal stay toned. But then imagine you're trying to do just a little baby back bend. Bottom tips of shoulder blades hug your spine. Soften your face. See if you can relax your shoulders. Sometimes it's helpful to bend your elbows. Take one more round, see if you can get a little bit lower. And then very end of your exhalation, forward fold. So hips lift up, crown of your head goes down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Start to crawl your hands out to the top of your yoga mat now. So plank position is where we'll end up, top of a push-up. Shoulders over wrists, hips level with your shoulders. Bring your knees to the ground if you want to modify. Take a great big inhale here. And then exhale, lower just halfway down. Strong through your arms, strong through your belly. Inhale, press back up. Again, like that. Exhale, halfway down. Try not to let your shoulders roll forward. Try not to let your hips sink. Inhale, press up. And then as slow as you can go, exhale all the way to your belly. Spiderman Cobra. Hands come out wide. Lift to your fingertips. Elbows face the sky. And then lift your chest up. Breathe in. Exhale. Dip your left shoulder down and twist to the right. Inhale. Come back to center. I think this feels so good. Exhale. Twist to the left. Dip your right shoulder down. Inhale, back to center. And go one more time, each direction with your own breath at your own pace. Feel the mobility through your shoulder girdle, through your spine, maybe even down into your hips. Eventually, an inhale brings you back to center, heart lifts. Exhale, release. And then let's just meet up in tabletop, hands and knees. All right, from your tabletop, we're gonna pivot on our right knee. So your right foot comes to the outside of your mat like a little kickstand. Left leg extends back, left arm to the sky, open up into your modified side plank. So squeeze your outer right butt cheek and imagine you're trying to press your hips forward so your butt's not sticking out behind you. Keep your left foot down for now and reach your left arm forward towards the top edge of your mat. So really lengthen through your left side body. Breathe into your left ribs, your left waistline. Choose to stay here. Choose to float your left foot up. Make your left leg really strong, like you're karate kicking the air with your left foot. Or final option, move into a bind. Bend your left knee, reach back, grab hold of your left foot. Kick foot into hand. Pull hand back into foot. See if you can rotate your heart to look up at the sky. So gaze up and see if your heart will follow. Take just about 2 more rounds wherever you're at, your fullest expression. Good job, you guys. End of your next exhale, slowly release, unwind, come back to hands and knees. Take your knees out a little bit wider than your hips. And on an in-breath, reach your right arm out to the right and all the way up to the sky. Exhale, thread your right arm underneath you. So reach through as far as you can. Come down to rest on the outside of your shoulder and the outside of your head. Stay very light on your head, and then you can take this wherever you want. So maybe you keep it a little more passive and restorative. Maybe you make it a little more challenging. So you might press your left hand down into the ground, gaze underneath your left armpit like you're trying to turn your heart towards the sky. You might wrap your left arm behind your back. You might kickstand your left leg out to the side. So your expression of the posture, and give it about 3 or 4 more breaths. See if you can really feel with each inhale, your back body, your upper back, mid back, and low back expanding, inflating. Each exhale, find a connection to your center. Draw your belly button back towards your spine. Empty all the way out. Notice, feel, and observe. Take 2 more breaths. If you do have your left hand or your left knee lifted, slowly begin to bring them back to the ground. And then everybody, next time you inhale, unthread your right arm, reach it all the way up, follow with your gaze. Stay here for an extra breath. So really push down with your left hand. See if you can reach your right fingertips higher, open up more through your chest. End of your exhale, bring your right hand down. Downward facing dog, take it back. Take a great big inhale into your dog pose, fill up. This time exhale, look forward to the top of your mat, step, tiptoe, or hop, forward fold. Once you've arrived, inhale, lift halfway, lengthen. Exhale, bow, fold. Root through your feet, rise up all the way. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. All right, inhale, arms to the sky. Now pause here, right foot stays rooted, float your left knee up into space, standing staff. Flex your left toes, hug in with your inner thighs. So squeeze towards midline with your inner thighs and tone your low belly. Just first, find your balance here. As you're ready, we're gonna move into a one-legged chair pose. So outer left ankle, top of your right thigh, and then sit back. Weight is in your right heel, your butt is reaching back, little tone through your belly, lift through your heart. You can stay where you're at, this is your pose. Breathe here, work the pose with your breath. If you would like to take a different variation, you're more than welcome to. So if you wanna move towards a forward fold variation, maybe a chair plane variation, a twist, an arm balance, go for it. Give yourself about 3 or 4 more breaths. So toes, left toes are flexed, outer left ankle pushes into the top of your thigh, and then energetically, imagine you're trying to drag your left knee over towards the left side of the room. Breathe all the way down into your low belly. Even imagine you could breathe all the way down into your outer left hip. We'll meet back in standing staff. So nice and easy with control and intention. Come back up, standing staff pose. Arms reach, left knee lifts. Take a big inhale. And then exhale, airplane pose. So start to hinge at your hips as you kick your left leg back. Reach your arms back. Think of a smiley face shape from the top of your head back to your left toes. Hips are square. Back muscles squeeze around your spine. Shoulder blades squeeze around your spine. Back of your neck is long. Take one more deep breath here. End of your exhalation, crescent lunge. So left toes to the back of your mat, arms to the sky. You can take a moment to kind of settle in, adjust your stance, find stability in your legs. Once you've found your stance, you found your physical position, then find your breath. Soften around the pose, so soften your face. Think of softening through your skin or your outer shell. Breathe slow and steady. Let's take just one more big inhale. And then exhale, we're gonna twist to the right. Bend your back knee so it hovers above the ground. Left arm forward, right arm back. Squeeze through your inner thighs. And imagine you're trying to drag your back thigh forward. Keep your weight nice and centered, so make sure you're not leaning forward or reaching forward. See if you can twist just a little bit further. If you want a big challenge, try to gaze back over your right fingertips. Take one more round. Twist with your exhale. Inhale, come back to crescent, reach up. See if you can straighten your front leg, staying balanced on the ball of your back foot. So your back leg is strong, your back foot is active and strong. Squeeze through your inner thighs. Take one more inhale. Now listen, exhale, cactus your arms. Stay here or add a little back bend. Squeeze the bottom tips of your shoulder blades. Chest moves up towards your chin. Take your throat back. Keep your low belly toned. Keep your inner thighs hugging towards midline. One more round. Inhale, crescent lunge. So bend your front knee, reach your arms up, neutralize your spine. Exhale, bring your hands down. Now set your back knee down. If you need extra cushion, you can fold over the side of your mat, or since you're at home, maybe you grab a pillow or a blanket or anything to cushion your back knee. Hands up to your front thigh. Bring your front foot forward just a little bit, so your ankle is out in front of your knee just slightly. And then start to lean forward. So imagine you're trying to sit your right butt cheek on your right heel, but then at the same time, imagine you're trying to pull your right heel back and up towards your right butt cheek. So by doing that, you're keeping muscle energy in the pose rather than just sinking into it. Stay where you're at, or option to take your arms up. Stay here. This is a perfect place to stay. Or option to bring your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. So open up through the fronts of your shoulders. Shoulder blades squeeze towards your spine. Maybe start to reach your hands back away from your body. Possibly reach your knuckles down as your heart lifts up. Keep your low belly toned. Keep working your right butt cheek towards your right heel, allowing your hips to get closer to the ground. Make sure your breath is there. If you're not breathing, then ease out of the pose just a little bit. So as long as you can breathe, you're probably okay. If you're not breathing, then check yourself. Maybe take a different variation, something not so intense. Take one last round wherever you're at. If you have your fingers interlaced on your next inhale, release and reach your arms up. Now listen, exhale, bring your hands to the inside of your right foot. Walk your right foot all the way out to the right edge of your mat and even more forward. Now, see if you can start to lower your upper body down, not by leaning over to the left. So that's gonna be so tempting because it's so much easier. See if you can kind of push your weight to the right and even slightly forward towards your front foot. Don't let your right knee come forward of your ankle. So if that's happening, scoot your back knee back or scoot your front foot forward. You might stay up on your hands and just walk them towards the top edge of your mat. Maybe bend your elbows a little. Maybe you can come down to your forearms, one or both. You've got about 4 or 5 more breaths here, so we're going to be here for a while. I know this pose is intense, at least it is for me, so just let it be intense. See if you can be okay with that, if you can sit with that. Wherever you feel the most sensation, visualize with your mind's eye, sending your breath into that space. So maybe close your eyes. Feel the energy of your breath moving down into your hips, your groin. 2 more rounds. Exhale out your mouth if you'd like. And then rise back up to your hands if you're not there already. Now walk your right foot back to midline, so you're framing your right foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. So you're in a low lunge position. From here, 3-legged down dog. So right leg reaches all the way back and up. Stretch it out. Open up your right hip, so bend your right knee. Squeeze your outer right butt cheek. You can stay here. This is a great place to stay. You can get this nice stretch for your hip, or option to flip your dog. So right tip toes come down behind you. Right arm lifts and reaches forward. Lift your heart and reach your heart forward. Lift your hips. Back muscles hug around your spine. If you're in the back bend, take 1 or 2 more deep breaths. And then everybody, regular down dog. Just walk it out, pedal it out. Awesome job, my friends. Reconnect to your breath. Feel back into your body. So maybe noticing the difference between right side and left side. Next time you inhale, rock forward, high plank position. You can come to your knees if you'd like. Exhale slowly with control. Chaturanga, lower down. Take a back bend of your choice. So lift your heart, roll your shoulders back and down. And then just for a moment, sit back into a child's pose. So hips towards your heels, forehead towards your mat. Breathe into your low back. Give it about 2 or 3, just grounding, restorative breaths. All right, let's meet in tabletop position, hands and knees. From here, you'll pivot on your left knee this time. So left foot comes to the outside of your mat like a little kickstand. Right leg extends back, and then right arm reaches up. Modified side plank. Press your hips forward rather than sticking your butt out behind you. So try to get any flexion out of your hips, any bend out of your hips. Now, keeping your right foot on the ground, reach your right arm towards the top edge of your mat. So push down with your right foot, and then see if you can reach your right fingertips even further. Breathe into your right side body. This might feel really good, and maybe you want to stay here. Next option, float your right leg up, make your right leg really strong and powerful. Final option, bend your right knee. Reach back, grab hold of your right foot, kick foot into hand, pull hand back into foot. Possibly, can you rotate your heart towards the sky? Take 2 or 3 more rounds in your pose, in your fullest expression, right here, right now. It doesn't mean it's the hardest, and it doesn't mean this is the deepest pose you've ever done in your life, but in this moment, this is where you want to go. This is your personal edge. End of your next exhale. Slowly release, unwind, come back to your hands and your knees. Bring your knees out just a little bit wider than your hips. Take your left arm out to the left, reach it up, inhale here, and exhale, thread your left arm through. So reach as far as you can, come down to rest on the outside of your shoulder, and very gently on the outside of your head. Anywhere you want to take this. So you can go exactly where you went on the other side, or if you want to try something different on this side, perfectly fine. I don't even want to say requirement, but my only request is that you keep your breath big and spacious, slow and steady. See if you can feel your inhales in your upper back, mid back, low back. Take your exhales all the way to empty. Feel your belly button draw in and up towards your spine. Take about 2 or 3 more rounds. And then if you happen to have your right hand or your right knee lifted, bring them back to the earth. Next time you inhale, unthread your left arm. Reach it up. We're going to stay here for an extra breath. So really push down through your right hand and see if you can lift your left arm even higher. Open your chest even more. And then bring your left hand to the ground. Downward facing dog pose. All right, great big inhale. Lengthen your spine, lift through your hips. Exhale, look forward, empty out, step, tiptoe, or hop, forward fold. Once you've arrived, halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, bow, fold in. Root through your feet, and let's rise all the way up. Inhale, stretch, reach, maybe gaze up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, high mountain. Pause here. Left foot is your base this time, standing staff. So float your right knee up, flex your right toes. Hug in with your inner thighs, tone through your low belly. Focus your gaze on something in front of you that's not moving, so find your drishti. As you are ready, we'll come into our figure 4, our one-legged chair. So outer right ankle, top of your left thigh. Bend your left knee and reach both hips back. So if you're staying in this chair pose, your right hip is getting a nice stretch, and your left glute, your left hamstring, is actually being worked and strengthened. So you're getting a little bit of both. You can stay where you're at. You can explore different variations. Arm balance, forward fold, twist. So whatever calls to you, and it doesn't necessarily have to be what you did on the other side. Take about 3 more breaths. Keep the flex in your right foot. Keep pressing your outer ankle into the top of your left thigh. Imagine you want to drag your right knee over to the right. Ruby's coming to say hi. All right, my friends, in your next breath or two, let's transition back to our standing staff. So slowly begin to rise. I'm cheating, I have the wall next to me. Not really cheating, just helping myself. All right, so right knee lifts, arms reach up, standing staff. Find your balance first. Let's take one more inhale. Exhale, move through airplane pose. So hinge at your hips. Kick your right foot back, reach your arms back, try to keep your hips square. Shoulder blades hug your spine, heart is slightly lifted like you're doing a little baby cobra. Imagine that smiley face shape from the top of your head back to your right toes. One last round. And then end of your exhale, step all the way back, crescent lunge, arms reach up. Take a moment to adjust your stance, to settle in, to stabilize through your legs. Square off your hips, so make sure your inner thighs are facing one another. Think of ever so slightly pulling your left hip back, your right hip forward. Take one more inhale. Exhale, turbo twist to the left, right arm forward, left arm back, back knee bends and hovers above the ground. Imagine you're trying to pull your back thigh forward. So squeeze through your inner thighs. Maybe your back knee even kisses the ground ever so gently. See if you can gaze back over your left fingertips. Take one more round. Use your exhale to twist, twist, twist. Inhale, come back to crescent reach up, straighten your front leg. Squeeze your inner thighs, and you should feel your left quad, the front of your left thigh, engaging and firing. Now, bring your arms to a cactus position. Stay here if you want, or little balance challenge, add a back bend. Bottom tips of shoulder blades squeeze. Take your gaze up. Chest towards your chin, move your throat back. Keep squeezing through your inner thighs. Keep toning through your low belly. Back leg, back foot, active and strong. One more breath. Inhale, crescent, bend your front knee, reach up. Exhale, hands to the ground. Back knee comes down. Grab your extra cushion if you need to. I was just thinking about how hard this class is. Oh my goodness, you guys are amazing. All right, so if you need extra cushion for your back knee, put it there. Put it there, and then hands to your front thigh. Walk your front foot forward. So your ankle is slightly out in front of your knee. Start to move your hips forward. So think left butt cheek towards your left heel. But then at the same time, imagine you're trying to pull your left heel back and up towards your left butt cheek. This can be a great place to stay. Hands on your front thigh, lift your heart. Option 2, take your arms to the sky. Final option, hands behind your back, interlace. Roll your shoulders back and down. Squeeze shoulder blades towards your spine. Maybe start to reach your hands back, possibly knuckles towards the ground as your heart lifts up. Keep a tone through your low belly. Keep working your left hip towards your left heel. Breathe all the way down into your belly. Wherever you're at, you've got at least 2 more rounds. If your fingers are interlaced, end of your next exhale, release. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to the ground inside your left foot. Walk your left foot all the way out to the width of your mat and then walk it forward a little bit more. Now, resist the temptation to just sink over to the right. So this is me sinking over to the right. I could hang out here for a really long time. I could watch TV here. So think of instead pushing your weight to the left and even slightly forward. Maybe lower down to your forearms, maybe just bend your elbows or walk your hands forward a little bit. So just bring your upper body closer to the ground. And you've got about 5 rounds here. If you want to spin your left toes out to the left a little bit or even roll onto the outer edge of your left foot, that's perfectly fine. Just make sure your left ankle stays really strong. Exhale out your mouth at any time. Allow yourself to sit with sensation, with discomfort, and just breathe into it. Think of softening your outer shell, softening your skin. Last couple of rounds, exhale out your mouth if you'd like. And then slowly start to lift back up to your hands. Work your left foot back to midline, so you're going to be framing your left foot. And then tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. So you're back in a low lunge. From your low lunge, 3-legged dog. Take your left leg all the way back and up. Might feel good to give it a quick little shake. And then bend your left knee, open your left hip, squeeze your outer left butt cheek, flex your toes. This is a great place to stay. Really nice hip stretch, or option to flip your dog. So left tip toes come down behind you, left arm lifts, reach forward. Think of reaching forward with your heart, pressing up through your hips, and then feel back muscles hugging around your spine, supporting your spine. 1 or 2 more breaths. And then we'll meet back in a regular downward facing dog. So both hands, both feet on the ground, walk it out. Next time you breathe in, rock forward, high plank, come to your knees if you'd like. Exhale, chaturanga, lower slowly. Inhale, back bend of your choice. And exhale, child's pose, hips to your heels, forehead to your mat. Take a moment here and just breathe. If there's a different variation of child's pose you want to take, feel free. So you might reach your hands back to grab your heels. You might walk your hands to one side and then the other. Knees can be wide or knees can be together. You can play with both. And then as you are ready, we will meet back in downward facing dog. Reconnect to your great big deep Ujjayi breaths. Next time you inhale, take your right leg to the sky. Now listen, exhale, right knee to your left elbow or as close as you can come. Inhale, 3-legged dog, take it up. Exhale, right knee, right elbow or as high as you can get on your arm. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Last one, knee to your nose. Scoop out your belly. Step your right foot to the top of your mat. Now, root into your right foot, standing staff pose. So come all the way up. Balance on your right foot. Left knee lifts, arms reach. With your exhale, as slow as you can, low lunge. So see if you can get your fingertips and toes to touch at the exact same time. Inhale, standing staff. We're going to go back and forth between these two poses. Move slowly with intention. You can go 1 breath, 1 movement, 2 breaths, 1 movement, 3 breaths, 1 movement, just as long as you're moving intentionally. Really think of pressing down through your right foot as you rise, staying connected to your center as you lower down. If you're feeling really crazy, you want more intensity when you come up to your standing staff, extend your left leg forward. Take about 3 more rounds, slowly, with control, with intention, with awareness. So we want to start to feel that heat building in our right butt cheek. Finish the round you're on, end up in a low lunge position. And then from your low lunge, we'll take it back to a 3-legged down dog. So right leg back and up, you can give it a nice little shake out. Then eventually pigeon pose, right shin to the top of your mat, set your body down. So make sure your right knee is wider than your right hip. It's towards the outer right edge of your mat. Try to spread your right toes and then pull your right hip back, pull your left hip forward. So you're trying to get your hips as close as you can to straight across from one another. Once you've created that strength and structure to support the stretch, begin your bow forward, humble pigeon. Breathe. Even as you bow forward, energetically drag your right hip back towards the back edge of your mat, and then if you want to go further or deeper, scoot your back knee back a little more. Breathe down into your outer right hip. Exhale out your mouth at any time. We'll be here for about 5 to 7 more breaths. So with each exhalation, see if you can just allow yourself to settle a little bit more, to surrender, to give into the pose. Soften your outer shell, your skin. Think of softening energetically. Take about 3 more breaths. And exhale out your mouth if you'd like. Think of it as a release of tension, a release of stuckness. Maybe just a release of energy. All right, and then slowly begin to lift your upper body. We're going to take it back just to a 3-legged tabletop. So plant your hands, tuck your back toes, and start to scoot your back knee forward so your hips lift up. Unthread your right leg, give it a nice little shake out. And then with your hips square, so your right hip faces down, bend your right knee, right heel towards your right butt cheek. Lift your left hand and reach your left hand back. Lift your heart, gaze forward. If this is as far as you go, this is perfect for today. If it's available to you, reach back, grab hold of the top of your foot or your ankle, and then kick foot into hand, pull hand back into foot. Hug in with your inner thighs. That'll keep you out of your low back. And then think of lifting your heart. Keep a tone in your low belly. Make sure you can breathe. Take 2 more full rounds of breath. Fullest expression for you right now. Nice work. End of your next exhale. Slowly release. Spinal balance. So left arm forward, right leg back. Big inhale. Neutralize your spine. Exhale, set just your left hand down. Now take your right tiptoes off the left side of your mat. Push down with both of your hands and turn, gaze over your left shoulder. So I'm saying push down through your hands so you're not sinking into your shoulder joints. Your arms are strong. Squeeze your inner thighs. And then see if you can pull your hips a little bit over to the right as you turn further to the left. Take 1 more round. End of your exhale, come back, tabletop position. Walk both of your hands off the right side of your mat. Reach both hips back to the left. I like to bring my knees together for this. It's up to you. Breathe into your left side body, your left ribs. Rise up. Bring your hands through center, walk them off the left side of your mat, reach your hips back into the right. Breathe into your right side body. Rise up, walk your hands back to center, downward facing dog. Okie dokie, my friends. Here we go. Other side. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Big, huge stretch. Lengthen out. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. So that little twist. Draw your belly button in and up. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, left knee, left armpit, or as high as you can get on your left arm. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Last one, knee to your nose, scoop out your belly, then softly step your left foot through, root into your left foot, standing staff, slowly rise. Inhale, reach up, right knee floats up. Exhale, with control and intention, back to your low lunge. See if you can touch fingertips and toes at the exact same time. Go back and forth through these 2 postures with your own breath at your own pace. So 1 breath, 1 movement, 2 breaths, 1 movement, whatever you want. Just do it intentionally. Really think of rooting through your left foot as you rise. Staying connected to your center, moving from your center as you lift and lower. You want to start to build that heat in your left hip, in your left butt cheek. Take about 3 more rounds, slowly, intentionally. Stay present. Focus on your breath. Focus on your body, on this movement. It's simple, but it's not easy. Finish the round you are on, or maybe take 1 more. And then we'll end up in our low lunge position. So eventually, right toes to the back of your mat, hands frame your front foot. Inhale, 3-legged dog, left leg back and up. You can give it a nice little shake out. And then as you're ready, Pigeon Pose. Left shin forward, set your body down. Left knee is wider than your left hip. Pull left hip back, right hip forward. So it's like you want to plug the femur bones into the sockets. Find the structure of the pose, the strength of the pose first, then begin to stretch into it. Bow forward, humble pigeon. Breathe into your outer left hip. After we do those standing staff to low lunges, all those repetitions. I think it makes it a lot easier to feel this stretch in your left hip. You can feel that fire that we built, and then we're just settling into it, relaxing around it, creating more space in our muscles. Big, slow, deep breaths. Will you take about 4 more rounds? Exhale out your mouth anytime you'd like. Okay, last big breath. And then begin to lift your upper body. We'll meet in a 3-legged tabletop position. So again, plant your hands, fingers spread wide, tuck your back toes under, scoot your back knee forward so your hips lift, unthread your left leg, shake it out. Might even feel good to circle your left knee a couple of times. Eventually, left hip faces down, so hips are square. Flex your toes, draw your left heel towards your left butt cheek. Now lift your right hand, reach your right hand back. Now see if you can lift your heart, gaze forward. So rather than just lifting your head by cranking your neck, think of lifting your heart by using the mobility in your mid and your upper back. Stay here, or if it's available, grab hold of your foot or your ankle. Kick foot into hand, pull hand back into foot, hug in with your inner thighs. Lift, lift, lift through your heart, open through your heart. Breathe, 2 more rounds. Squeeze your inner thighs. Take your breath down to your belly. Next time you inhale, spinal balance. So right arm forward, left leg back. Lengthen, neutralize your spine. Exhale, set just your right hand down. Take your left toes off the right side of your mat. Push down with your palms and then turn and gaze back over your right shoulder. Breathe into your left side body. Pull your hips over to the left a little bit and then turn more to the right. End of your next exhale, tabletop. You choose child's pose or some circles with your hips. All right, my friends. Let's all meet in tabletop, hands and knees. Find your way into a seat. And then find your way nice and easy down onto your back. Once you are on your back, hug your knees in and gently rock from side to side. Bring your feet to the ground with your knees bent. Walk your feet together. Bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees fall open. We're going to stay here for about 5 to 7 rounds of breath. You can do whatever you want to with your arms. So perhaps one hand to your heart space, one hand to your belly. Perhaps cactus arms against the ground. Whatever calls to you. Close your eyes. Breathe down into your hips. Try to just let gravity take hold of your legs. So So let go of resistance. Just allow. Soften your face, unclench your jaw. And again, soften your outer body, soften energetically. Lift your knees back up, so feet on the ground with your knees bent. Tee out your arms or cactus your arms if they're not already there. Bring your feet out to the width of your mat, so feet wider than hips. And then at your own time and pace, just windshield wiper your knees one side and then the other. Go as slowly or as quickly as feels right to you. Next time your knees fall to the right, keep them there for about 3 or 4 rounds. Option to bring the outer edge of your right foot to the outside of your left knee. And then you can use the strength in your right leg to encourage your left knee forward and down. And then let's switch to the other side. So as you're ready, knees come up and then fall over to the left. Keep your feet wide, and that'll keep your low back nice and open so you're not crunching into your low back at all. It'll also allow your pelvis to open a little more, your pelvic bowl. You can bring the outer edge of your left foot to the outside of your right knee on this side if you want to. Breathe. When you feel pretty even on both sides, come back up. So lift your knees back up. Keep your feet nice and wide, but then let your knees fall in towards each other. So if the outer edges of your feet lift a little bit, that's just fine. And keep your arms where they're at, or perhaps one hand to your heart space, one hand to your belly. We'll stay here for about 5 to 7 rounds. So as much as you're able to, just give in, just surrender. Let your knees fall in, let your low back open. Breathe down into your low back. And as you guys just relax here, I have a reading for you. This is by Young Pueblo. He says, heaviness comes from hanging on tightly to emotions that were always meant to be temporary. It is not easy to let go, especially when all we know is attachment. We want things to last forever, and we turn difficult moments into long-lasting pain simply because we have not learned to let go. We have not learned that the beauty of living comes from the movement of change. Letting go does not mean that we forget, and it does not mean that we give up. It just means that we are not letting our present happiness be determined by things that happened in the past or by things we wish to happen in the future. So one of the biggest lessons I've learned through my yoga practice is just that everything is temporary. Allow yourself to feel it all, but know that it's only temporary. Nothing is permanent, and allow yourself to let go, to let movement happen, to let energy move within you, move through you, and release from you. So that is what we practice every time we step onto our mats, every time we go into a pose. We're just allowing what's there to be there. We're allowing sensation, allowing emotion to come and go, allowing our thoughts to come and go. So as you are ready, if there are any finishing poses you want to take, you can take them. But eventually just settle into your final relaxation. So either corpse pose or any other position that will allow you to relax. And you can take your time getting there. And I'm actually just going to leave you here. So if you have just 30 seconds to spend in your Shavasana, then spend that 30 seconds and enjoy it. Let energy move through you. Observe it. If you have 5 minutes, if you have 10 minutes, if you want to lay here for the rest of the night, that's fine with me. So as you're ready, just let your breath become effortless. Let your body give in and allow yourself to just let go. Simply just be. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Namaste.